Hello and welcome to India Inc. 2.0. I'm Nayantara Rai. Today I've come to an Easy Day store in South Mumbai. It's owned by Future Retail and my guest today is Ashni Biyani. She's the elder daughter of retail czar Kishore Biyani. Thank you, Ashni, for joining us here on India Inc. 2.0. I'm going to refer to you right now at the start of the interview as a retail baroness. You're also the first retail czar's daughter, Kishore Biyani. You could have done literally anything that you wanted. Did you always know that you wanted to be in retail? Is it in your blood?
Well, I think I grew up at the sidelines of store openings. I remember many in the very young days when we had holidays, we would travel with my father wherever he was opening stores. In the good old days, he used to spend 7 days before the store opened in the city. So we would just go with him and become a part of the store opening, hanging merchandise, opening plastic, doing whatever odd jobs were given to us. Well, these were early day fashion stores and then moving on to big bazaars. So I think
how old were you then when the first big bazaar opened?
I think I was around 16 when the first 15 or 16 when the first big bazaar opened. So for me, I feel like stores and more importantly the consumer life has always been something that we have been very closely lived with. Therefore, at Future Group we have this belief that retail is our religion, store is our temple and customers are our God. So we, that's all I knew practically. But I didn't go to business school. I went to design school to study design and found my way into the world of business. My father always believed that business is common sense and all you really need to know is about how to deal with people and think in a fresh way. And I think that's what design school did for me. So I'm not sure if I could have done anything or I wanted to do everything. I wanted to always be amidst consumers.
You know, it's amazing that you're telling me. I find it fascinating that you never went to business school. A lot of your peers, and I mean from India Inc., probably didn't just do undergraduation in business, but they followed it up with the MBA. And you're leading this big empire. You're relying on inorganic growth as well, not just organic growth. Any regrets, or you think that it would have actually been a waste of time?
No, I think each one to their own path. I think I come from the world of thinking customers first before taking any business decision. That's where I bring my source of inspiration is the customer and India and the cultural context in which our consumers live. And for me, that is at the core of business decision making. I've learned everything else on the job. And I think there is a lot to learn. Of course, there's a huge journey to make. So I learned how to first read a P&L account, what it meant to create a format.
How old were you?
I think at around 23, 24, I was learning how to read a P&L account. I was coached as to how to learn how to read a balance sheet. I am today doing all kinds of things. I'm meeting with investors. I'm going on a roadshow next week. So all sorts of things.
What are you going on this roadshow for?
For Future Consumer. I think we're telling the Future Consumer story in the US to a bunch of investors there. So I think I've done everything I feel now. I think there are a few areas that I haven't dabbled in from a business standpoint, but otherwise I think I've captured it all.
And because it's also, while all of you are listed, while these are all listed entities, it's still controlled and managed primarily by the family members, right? So do you all have specific areas of responsibilities? How was this done?
I think we look at it very differently. I think the role of the family or people like me is really to be at the helm of creation.
So visionaries.
So it's really about, we have two words in our organization to best define this, which is 0 to 1 and 1 to 100. 0 to 1 is the phase where we are conceiving ideas, we are bringing organizations in the right form and format needed. Here is where we are doing lots of things together, there's action at multiple fronts. And we get involved in the 0 to 1 phase. But when it comes to 1 to 100, the day-to-day running of any business, there are professionals there. We have CEOs at Business Helms that do the 1 to 100 piece. So, which is why my role in Future Consumer is also very critical, because we are in the 0 to 1 phase. We are the youngest perhaps FMCG organization, and you know, in this small period of time, we have created 27 brands. We are present across 50 plus categories, both across food and HPC. So, I think it's in the 0 to 1 phase, and while we are in the 0 to 1 phase, we are setting the right let me say platform for it to become an institution simultaneously.
So, you know, when you talk about all of these brands that you have in all of these cities that you have, is it you who's coming up with the ideas of what brands to have? Your private labels business has been a success.
I think we look at these as our branded FMCG arm. For us,
and it's all contract manufacturing, obviously.
It is actually, a lot of the manufacturing is also owned by us. We've set up a food park at Tumkur on the outskirts of Bangalore. I think few years back, my father had this ambition of really saying that we can also build FMCG brands, and we will build it for the modern retail customer. Here is an opportunity, and here is a chance for us to really create a new benchmark in FMCG, and that's what we are trying to do with Future Consumer. We believe that there is a new consumer generation, and there is perhaps the chance to create a new lifetime value of new age brands, new age products, new age taste, new age habits. So, we want to work with this young generation customer.
Label or
so,
brand.
let's look at Desi Atta, which I see a little bit over here. So, for example, why should we look at attas only in the form of wheat? India actually has so many kinds of atta, so many kind of grains, and what we've tried to do over here is really bring them all in the fold of Desi Atta company. We also respect and recognize that India has a lot of fasting occasions, for example. So, fasting 189 days on a year, and on average India fasts, and it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that we're really not eating, but we are eating Rajgira atta or we are eating Sabudana atta. So, we are replacing it with something. So, Desi Atta actually brings to us the widest variety of flours made from wide variety of grains. We also do a lot of ready mixes, which are up there, which are convenience products.
So you are, pardon me for saying this, you're also a Desi brand. There's a Swadeshi element as well, and you know what I'm getting at. Patanjali and Baba Ramdev, who takes credit for growing the market, forcing other FMCG players to lower the price points, etc. What has a disruptor like Patanjali done for you?
I think Patanjali has a space in a certain consumer voice or a certain segment which is in the whole Ayurveda influenced life. I think there are many platforms available.
They have juices.
Sure, but they are trying to bring it in with the whole edge of Ayurveda or the belief in the Indian ancient wisdom. I think our brands are built on various platforms. It's not only Ayurveda, or it's not only Indian wisdom. At large,
so different brands, for example, they've managed to dent into HUL.
Sure, so they have a one brand strategy. We are present in multiple brands. So we are very different. We are similar because we are in multiple categories, and we are also Indian born. We are also Indian made. In that sense, we are similar. We believe that there is room for everyone. I think India is very large. They are not as modern retail centric as we are. We are focusing largely on modern retail. So there is play for everyone, and we are happy if the Indian brands grow.
And you never felt the pressure to bring down prices, etc.?
I think all our brands are priced competitively to what we believe the consumer is ready to pay. Many of our brands are very differentiated, as you've seen in Desi Atta, as you would see in a Sanji's Kitchen. So we don't have a one size fits all sort of a strategy which is only led through pricing. So it's about premiumization, it's about differentiation, and those are the legs on which we are building our brands. We are thinking about it actually product first and not in any other way.
Okay, Ashni, hold that thought. We're going to take a short commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching India Inc. 2.0. Welcome back. You're watching India Inc. 2.0. I'm Nayanthara Rai. Today I am in conversation with retail baroness Ashni Biyani. Ashni, you're so young. You're talking about how you came up with these labels. You're talking about modern retail. Where does e-commerce fit into all of this for you?
I think the way we look at it, and we're standing in an Easy Day store, we're getting closer to our customer through the small format retail format, which is Easy Day. We're going to have members. Members can be serviced in any avatar that they like. They can call and we can deliver the produce, they can place an order on the app, they can, you know, maybe just go on the website and order. So we're doing multiple things. We're doing multiple things. Easy Day is going to get closer to the customer. We have this ambition of becoming 8 to 10,000 stores in the years to come, and we're going to be a very member-centric model. So sell more and more of our products to our members. That's our focus.
No, because you know, your father, for example, was one of the most vociferous critics of what was going on in all of these discounts, whether it was Flipkart or all of the other websites, Snapdeal in those days, etc. Has that changed? Do you think they're still doing that and it's hurting business of modern retailers?
I think we work in very different categories versus them. We also have brands which are very, very unique, which is our moat. People come to our stores for our brands, our products. So I think everyone has different strategies. That's the way I look at it. I think which is why we believe that in the next let's say 5 years, our ambition is that 70% of the food that we sell from our stores is going to be our own brands and our own products. So from Desi Atta to Golden Harvest to Sanjeev's Kitchen to Tasty Treat, this is really where we are headed.
But I'm sure it's a cause for concern if you're going to have what you would probably call the ventable beast, Walmart, you know, merging with Flipkart, bringing in those big bucks. It's going to act as a disruption, I'm sure.
I think each one will have their own strengths to play on. I think we understand customers best. We've built brand platforms. We believe that we have a certain lead with physical retail, and I think physical retail is the way everyone is going. So I think we're in a great place.
Because even Walmart can now do physical stores because of the FDI regulations.
Yeah, so I mean, well, they tried. So let's see.
Okay, right now you're not perturbed about it, it's early days as well. Tell me now, where do you see future consumer, let's say 5 years from now? What's your vision? What do you write on your spreadsheets?
So I think future consumer is slated to be FMCG 2.0. That's the way in which we have expressed our dream for future consumer. We have created very, very strong brand platforms across food, across home and personal care. We are leading through absolutely disruptive insights to make this possible. We believe that these brands are going to be the most loved brands in India in times to come.
Are you category leaders already in any of them?
Yeah, we are. So if you look at toilet cleaners, for example, we have a 45% share in our store. If you look at wafer biscuits, we practically created the category of wafer biscuits. We are 85% share. If you look at biscuits, it's a very competitive category. It's a very, very large category with many.
And it's unorganized as well.
Yeah, and many retailers, many brands being present across this. There too, we've had very, very good success. It's been only a month plus that we've launched, but our digestives has a significant share in the store. We worked very hard in partnering with the best back-end partners. So for example, all our manufacturing for biscuits is done in association with Pladis, which is the McVitie's own company. So we are making sure that we get the legs of every piece of FMCG going right. You've seen how Tasty Treat has been communicated. You'll soon see much more dhamaka from us in the IPL season.
Tell us more, what can we expect?
So you'll expect to see you know, a brand endorser and a big star endorsing our biscuits. So you know.
But you're going to sign on somebody in the middle of IPL, or is this going to be for next year?
Signed on. You'll see it hitting at the right time.
For the final? Peaks. For the finals, semi-finals and finals?
You will see it.
Okay, fair enough. I won't prod too much on that. You know, you've also done, and very successfully, inorganic growth. How important is inorganic growth, mergers and acquisitions for you?
So I think 2 years back, we acquired a brand called Kara from the Aditya Birla Group. Yeah. I think Kara was a very, very interesting fit for us because it's an absolute modern retail-led category. It is about developing the category of wipes in this country. It is for the women who is already coming to modern retail stores. We've had phenomenal success with Kara. I think we're picking on opportunities where the modern retail fitment works really well. So Kara is one such example. I think when we acquired the brand was at 9 crores. This last financial year, we closed the brand at around 30 crores. In the last 1.5 years, we've been able to scale up the brand significantly. And not just in our stores, we've also increased its general trade distribution as well. So I think we believe that we know how brands are built. we can, with the power of stores, with the power of retailers, with the power of knowing the customer, with the data that we have of the customers, it will be possible for us to
easy day
force multiply, absolutely, force multiply brands and their growth and their perspective. We are in the phase where we believe that at the brands level, we will be looking at inorganic acquisitions, and we've done the same at the retail end. So Nilgiris was another such acquisition that we did at Future Consumer actually, which was really to bring on board. For us, we saw inherent value in the brand power of Nilgiris. It was an old established brand. It had humongous amount of mind share and heart share in the minds of customers in the south, and you know, it was our way of saying we want to be in dairy.
And has it been EPS accretive already? Or?
It's in a phase where it was still requiring investment, but this next year you will see Nilgiris in a very different avatar. In fact, starting now you would have seen many new age modern day products that we've launched in Nilgiris. So right from cold coffees at a 35 rupees price point to flavored milk to chas, lassis, I think the whole portfolio of Nilgiris is changing. There was a certain sort of a journey that we had to make to modernize the products, and we've done that, and we believe that customers are going to love this new avatar of Nilgiris as well.
So brand building, where you know, for manufacturing, etc., that's where you're looking at inorganic growth?
I think both spaces in
retail as well as
absolutely. And I think what's going to be important from an FCL perspective is going to be building.
FCL is Future Consumers.
Future Consumer perspective is really to see how each of these brands find a voice in the categories that they are present in, and we're sure to do that.
Okay, with that, Ashni, I'm going to take another short commercial break. Stay tuned, you're watching India Inc. 2.0. Welcome back, you're watching India Inc. 2.0. I'm Nayanthara Rai, today coming to you from an Easy Day store, and my guest is Ashni Biyani. Ashni, you know, you've teased me enough. You've said there's going to be someone who's going to come to endorse your biscuits from IPL. You're going to the US to meet investors. Are you in fundraising mode?
No, we are doing a non-deal roadshow. Future Consumer has not told its story enough. In fact, this is the first time we are going to the US to tell people who we are and what we are about. I think that's the mode that we are in.
But for, you know, all the plans that you have, whether it's inorganic growth, organic growth, reaching new geographies, etc., is going to cost a lot. Where's the money coming from?
I think we have a very, very different business model. So our FMCG 2.0 model, we spend the least on marketing and in distribution.
You're signing on someone from IPL.
Well, we're signing on a movie star, but we know how to do it wisely, and we're not doing it across all our brands.
A movie star associated with IPL?
We're going to launch it in IPL.
Okay, you're going to launch it in IPL?
We're going to launch it in IPL because Taste to Treat is a brand which is part of the IPL story at large. So we are going to launch it in IPL. Let's see.
Preeti Zinta.
Okay. So that's what we're doing with Future Consumer. I think also it's important for you to recognize that Future Consumer is going to build most of its brands in stores rather than building it outside, because you know most of our distribution is also focused in modern retail. So I think we're going to work very hard in building our brand in store. So if you look at this, for example, there's a whole lot of effort that we've taken just to announce the arrival of Sunkist in this summer season, and if anyone is looking at juices, they're not going to miss Sunkist.
Yeah.
So I think that's the kind of efforts that we're going to take, and make sure that our brands scream out loud in store. There are few brands that will go in the ETL medium, and we'll have television campaigns around it, but largely most of our brands will be built in store. So therefore, we don't need the kind of money to do it, and we're going to do it very wisely.
Are you involved in the rest of the Future empire as well, or do you focus only on Future Consumer?
So large part of my time currently is spent doing Future Consumer. I think we run also an ideas think tank called Future Ideas, which we believe is the source, it's the Gangotri of everything that happens at Future Group, because that is really where we understand Indian consumers. So it's a consumer think tank of sorts. We take pride in understanding Indian communities and Indian consumption at its own terms. So that's where I think my mind is always working towards. So Future Ideas is an important component, and a lot of my time is also just guiding the Future Ideas strategy. We have a professional CEO running the business, but that's where we get all our ideas and inspiration from.
I once again want to touch on the e-commerce buzz because technology is going to play a big role. We're coming from in Mumbai. Today people say they don't have the time to go shopping, or they only want to go once a week and they look at it as a chore. Do you believe any of that, first of all, and are you looking to address it if you do believe it?
Sure. So I think we unveiled our Retail 3.0 strategy a few months back, where we spoke about Tathastu. We've already partnered with Deloitte. We're working very hard on our workflows. We're getting every component ready to make sure that as customers need, we shall offer.
And who do you go to for advice? Is it your dad?
So I've been very fortunate to have very many mentors. I think at FMCG, for my FMCG business, I have mentors who are grooming me, helping me understand how the FMCG universe works. I work very closely with Milind Sarvate. He's ex-Marico. He's helped me learn a lot about how to build an FMCG organization. I've been very fortunate to be mentored by Irina Vittal from ex-McKinsey for many years. So I turn to her for advice very often. I think it's very important to have the right set of mentors. I have a lot of mentors amidst, people who I can now call my friends, but they're slightly senior than me in terms of their life
journey. From within the organization? Or
from outside the organization.
But is it easy to work for your dad?
I think I'm working for the Indian consumer, and that's what I always tell him, that I'm working for the consumer.
But can you say no to him when you disagree with him?
Yeah, I can say no to him. I think he listens very carefully. For sure. I think there's a lot of dissent that we allow in our organization because we're a consumer organization. Yeah. So, and we let the customer decide is always the way. So, he'll say, okay, go try it. If you believe it, we should do it.
No, I think it's no secret now that the Modi government has been talking of allowing FDI in Make in India stores. They've done it for food, but they want to bring it now for food ancillaries, etc., etc. Do you think that's a good idea? Is that what we need in the retail space?
I think it's good to open up the economy. I think it will be progressive for us as an economy at large. I think if consumption grows, India will grow. That's the way I look at it.
So after 5 years, do you think you'll still be at Future Consumers and doing primarily the stuff you're doing now, or do you think you could perhaps be looking at other areas as well? Do you have other interests within the empire?
I think for me right now the focus is very blinkered on Future Consumer. So 5 years from now, I believe that Future Consumer will be a very different organization, and when that happens, I'm sure my other interests will also develop.
Who is your biggest competitor?
I think my biggest competitor is every brand that I'm fighting with in every category that I'm fighting with on the shelf. So for me, in a ketchups, I would say Maggi and Kisan is my biggest competitor. In a juices, I would say Tropicana Real is my biggest competitor. So in every category, we have competitors.
And in the retail space, when you look at the box retail?
In the retail space, I think Big Bazaar has a very different edge and a very different heart share that we enjoy. I think we are positioned very uniquely, and therefore I feel that we are where we are.
You spoke about premiumization right at the start of the interview, and that's visible whether you look at furniture or whether you look at food. How can that move forward, that aspect of the business?
I think what we are really doing is we are working with the customers to walk them the path. So one of the things that we are working on is, for example, seeing how we can give very uniquely grown vegetables and fresh fruit produce also to our customers. So sorted, graded, grown with hydroponic technology. We are using some technology that the Netherlands government is supporting us. So we are aligning on various.
So you're working directly
projects
with farmers?
So we are working and creating a poly house in our food park to see how we can scale this project up and then take it to the farm level to see how we can work in a more integrated way. So there's a whole lot of stuff that we're doing across the value chain, right from sourcing up till the very plate, to see how we can give better products and work in the entire ecosystem to make it
What
happen.
did you think of when Amazon revealed that video of theirs in San Francisco, the Amazon store, where you could literally just walk in, pick up what you want and walk out? What did you think?
I think our members will be able to do the same thing.
Really? By when?
It will happen in the next 12 to 18 months.
12 to 18 months, there will be an app that I can download, come to a store.
Members will be allowed to do that.
So what will be it'll be a subscription model?
So members will be paying upfront to become members, and then they can get varied benefits. So that's easy and that's possible.
Well, that's good to know. And you know, before I let you go as well, as far as technology goes, how else are you looking at embracing technology? Are you also maybe looking at the consumer finance part of it? You know, for example, a lot of our salaried folks get Sodexo vouchers. Could that be something you look at?
So we've already launched our wallet and it's been doing phenomenally well. I think the way we look at it is we're going to partner with various service providers to provide anything and everything that our member universe will want. We are very focused on our member universe, and we will align with healthcare, with insurance, with loans, with financial instruments. For our members, whatever is required, we'll build that ecosystem.
So instead of becoming an NBFC, you'll just choose the right
We'll
channel
choose the right
partners.
and deliver it for
Are you
our
doing
members.
that part of the business as well?
I'm not involved in that part of the business, but that is part of our strategic
And it fit in
plan.
very well with what you're doing as well, especially the wallet business. Ashni, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much.